Yo, yo, yo. I do now. Yeah. You turn the chat on? Magic Johnson being a crybaby today.
What's he crying about this time?
About how the Celtics have more titles than the Lakers.
Well, the Lakers need to do better then, don't they? Win. Instead of crying like LeBron all the time, you know?
Now, Lakers aren't going to win anytime soon.
Don't tell that to the mainstream media. They always got the Lakers in the hunt. Oh, the Lakers are going to win the championship. They didn't even think about the Boston Celtics winning.
Did you hear that Justin Timberlake's in jail right now?
I saw that. He got arrested for a DUI. I put that out. I retweeted that, so we might talk about that in the entertainment bump.
Today, I decided to put the rundown out on Twitter. I mean, it's just a rough draft, but still.
Yeah.
I'm going to allude to the Wemby thing early up top.
Good morning, Sam Salinas. Good morning, Sith Elias. Good morning, D-Lo. He says, Tatum looks salty after JB won. Say it ain't so.
I don't know.
Well,
wait. What's going on in the Weather Channel right now?
I don't know.
Come on, man.
They're talking about the development. You know that damn thing isn't going to get us.
They're nerdy hot, dude. The Weather Channel girls are hot.
You're getting a chub.
Oh, my goodness.
Welcome to another episode of the Alamo City Sportscast with Mike Jimenez and Joe Garcia. Make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. Join the discussion as we broadcast live from beautiful West San Antonio. And remember to tip your hosts as it helps the show grow.
What's up, San Antonio? What's up, South Texas? This is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from the Alamo City, San Antonio, Texas. We got to update that number. We are now 914 subscribers strong.
We picked up a new
one more last night. We're getting into it. The march to 1,000 is on. We want to get there by the end of July. So again, like what we do, hit the like button already. Make sure that you have subscribed and tell your friends and family to subscribe as well. Again, we are 914 subscribers strong. My name is Mike Jimenez. Joe Garcia is producing today's show. We go for about an hour and a half talking sports, pop culture, nostalgia. Lots to get into today.
You see Sith Elias. He heard us talking about the weather girls, and look at his comment.
I only get my weather from Yannick Garcia. Dude, she's been pulled. Yannick Garcia is taking a vacation this week because when there's real weather going on in the Gulf, her fat ass gets taken out. Okay, she's there to be the booty girl. She knows nothing about weather. She's a big booty girl who's reading a script. Okay,
and these girls on
the Weather Channel, they may not be 10s like Yannick Garcia, but they're solid 7s or 8s with a degree, and I'll take that all day, every day. But last night, Joe, I found myself at HEB, man, because there was an initial projection of the rain in San Antonio.
He's just trying to scare you, man.
Well, I know that there's different models out there. So whenever you see
going to Mexico,
true, but that's the point. It was going to Mexico. Whenever you have a tropical storm, Joe, here's the thing. The tropical storm, the best place to be is in the middle of it. Okay. In a hurricane, that's not the sense, right? No. Hurricane, eye of the storm, you want to get out of the eye of the storm, right? Because that's where the damage is. But when it comes to tropical storms, it is the northeast side of the storm. So if the storm is going into Mexico, the northeast side is what? Texas.
Yeah, you're going to get rain. But, I mean, the thing is, it's so far down in Mexico. I doubt if we get the projections that they're telling us.
Well, the new projections came out.
Rain,
the new projections came out.
And not 12 to 24 inches.
It depends on where it is. They're saying now that it's going to be around 3 to 5 inches, and in some areas up to 8.
That's a big difference from 12 to 24.
It is a big difference. And in fact, they were talking about that this morning, about how startled they were. I mean, I woke up this morning, 7 a.m. I turned on the Weather Channel about how startled they were as to how the projections were looking. Now, there's different models out there. There's a U.S. model. There's the European model. They have all these different projections out there because weather is not an exact science. There's lots of different moving parts when it comes to it all. They don't know. That's why there's what they call the cone of uncertainty is what they call it, right? I get really jacked up into the Weather Channel in the summer, especially when it's hurricane season. But the northeast quadrant is Texas, and they're talking about flooding in San Antonio, Houston, Austin, Dallas, Corpus Christi, Brownsville, Laredo.
At least we got a little bit of rain already this morning when I dropped my daughter off at UTSA.
Dude, New Orleans is already getting pounded by it. Okay,
Yeah.
so much so that if you can go to my screen real fast, I was watching the Weather Channel this morning, and the way that they described the storm was hysterical. And let me go ahead and put that on real fast. Oh, it's not on, Joe. Can you hear it?
No, I can't. You probably have to move it on there to the USB audio interface.
Okay, so let's go and get that going. Anyway, so the Weather Channel was going on this morning, and I get excited about this because, I like storms. Back in the day, Joe, 1980s, 1990s, I would go to McDonald's to watch, to get those hurricane charts that they would have at McDonald's. It was like Albert Flores from Ken's Five. I would get so excited about that, and I plot the storm and all of that stuff. But anyway, it looks like we're not going to be able to get this at all. Well, there goes half the show, Joe. There goes half the show. But anyway, the girl from the Weather Channel, the meteorologist, not going to call her girl. She's a meteorologist. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
She called this the Victor Wembanyama of storms.
The Wemby. And
she says because, like Wemby has a wingspan that is super long.
Man, I don't know what they're doing with them models, bro, but that storm looks suspect the way they drew it out there, man.
Well, it's not a hurricane. It's a tropical storm.
Well, I'm just saying, man, the path, the way they drew that, it looks like a giant schlong, bro.
Right. Well, here's the thing. I remember back in the day being a news reporter when it rained about 15 to 20 inches here in San Antonio that one weekend. And they were worried about Castroville, the city, being destroyed by if a dam was to break. I remember that happened back in the day. But the cone of uncertainty is there. There you go. See, it's going to go into Mexico at some point. But again, this meteorologist was saying, it's so wide that it goes all the way from New Orleans, all the way to basically Cancun, all the way into Mexico. And he was saying it was like Victor Wembanyama with his 8-foot wingspan. This is the Wemby of storms. Okay. Is it an all-time great? No, it's a Wemby of storms. Jesse A coming out on our YouTube stream saying pounded by 3 to 5 inches. It's not the size that counts. It's the motion of the ocean.
Oh, Sam Salinas. That's what she said.
Yeah. Dude, I know you get excited, but all of the cones of uncertainty look like penises.
I'm just saying, man.
That's just the way that it is. Joe, now I was at HEB yesterday stocking up.
They already took all the toilet paper and water.
I didn't. Well, I did buy toilet paper because I needed toilet paper. Okay, it wasn't like me getting like COVID, grabbing all the toilet paper.
Buying it from HEB. Just go to Costco or Sam's Club. Stop playing, dude.
Costco and Sam's Club. I mean, that's if you want to buy like 6 months worth.
I don't want to go back to get toilet paper.
I've done that before.
Yeah.
Now, what I don't understand is HEB has the 2 different colors of toilet paper. There's the red packet and the blue packet. I always get the red, but I don't know. Is the blue different?
It's all toilet paper.
Like what's the difference between the two? It's as long as it's not single ply, I'm okay. But
you're not getting Hill Country Fair?
No, I don't. You do not cheap out on toilet paper. You do not cheap out on soda either.
Oh God.
Or cereal.
Hey man, that Diet Dr. B hits different, bro. I'm telling you.
No,
I bought one this weekend.
I'm calling nonsense.
No,
I'm all Dr. Pepper.
Diet
10.
Dr. B's.
Dr. Pepper 10 is where it's at. Okay, so there I am, and I'm asking the question. Well, what happens if the rain goes out? If the electricity goes out? Because again, in San Antonio, a couple of inches of rain, dude, the electricity goes out, man. I'm going to be missing out on my Direct TV and all YouTube TV and all that stuff.
Messed up if you have Direct TV because any bit of rain.
Yeah. Well, I have YouTube TV. But anyway, long story short, I ended up buying some meals that could be made if the lights go out for an extended period of time.
MREs.
Well, peanut butter and jelly, peanut butter and jelly, you can get that going, right?
Yeah.
I got chili. I got ravioli. I got the Chef Boyardee stuff.
I hope Fernandez is watching. I'd be like, what's your favorite MRE? He'll tell you real quick.
Dude, MREs are gross, man. They're like 3,000 calories each, dude. It's gross.
Dehydrated spaghetti.
Yeah.
Beef stew.
With a little thing of Tabasco.
That stuff's nasty, dude.
But okay, so how much rain is it where you would say to yourself, okay, that's a good amount of rain? Like, because if they're downplaying it and they're saying 5 inches of rain, I tell you what, if it rains 5 inches in San Antonio, the freeway is closed downtown. 35 north, 35 south downtown is closed when that happens. So people are just kind of like, no big deal. Nothing's going to happen. Dude, I swear if it rains 5 to 8 inches and all those people are out there who didn't prepare for this, I'm going to be like, ha ha, jackasses. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do.
So you're telling us you prepared. So if you haven't prepared, you can just go ransack Mike's house, man. He's got a whole storage there.
Houston's supposed to get pounded. So what we know is that when Houston gets pounded with a lot of rain like that, we know that Joel Osteen locks the doors. And we know that Ted Cruz hightails
to Mexico, it. Man. Go to Mexico. Wherever the storm isn't, that's where he's going to be at.
I'm going to look up.
But the funny thing is,
do you remember that?
I remember that. But the funny thing to me was how many other people would want to do the same thing, but he actually did it. You know, it was so cold here. You wouldn't want to go to a warmer climate if you had the means. I get that it's a bad look, but at the end of the day, what did they want the brother to do? Power the sun, the power of the sun
to work.
No, but it's like the funny thing. I get that.
No.
I get that. No. This is what I'm telling you. The funny thing is, I get they want him to work, but the funny thing to me is that were people really expecting him to go in the home and actually do the repairs?
To work.
Oh, I get that, but I'm saying the funny thing is what they want him to do.
It was the worst look ever. I can never vote for this dude ever because he did this.
If you had the means, you would want to go.
Okay, first of all, it's not so much that he has the means. He represents the state of Texas.
Oh, I get that, man.
And this mother effer hightailed it up and left when Hurricane was it Harvey? Was it Harvey at the time?
Yeah, it was one of those.
And the city was underwater, and he was at a resort in freaking Cancun.
I hope it was all inclusive.
And the number of people who were like, well, I mean, what else?
It wasn't a hurricane. It was during the winter storm. That's when he left.
Oh, that's what it was. That's what it was. Okay. It was the winter storm. Okay. So basically there was no electricity in the entire state, right? Except for my house.
Yeah.
That's right. Okay. It was Joel Osteen that jacked up during Harvey.
Yeah.
Okay.
He had just got new carpets in the church and he didn't want him to get wet.
It was the ice-pocalypse that Cruz up and hightailed it out.
Yeah.
Osteen didn't want his carpets wet.
Yeah.
Meantime, Mattress Mac, who's right next door to him,
he didn't care.
He didn't care. Like, sleep on the mattresses. I don't give a crap. I've got bets to make.
I got insurance. It's all right.
Dude, Ted Cruz is scum, and that's not a liberal or conservative.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not sticking up for him. I just think it's
even
funny,
my conservative friends are like, yeah, he's scum.
Yeah,
he's scum. But dude, that was awful, dude. And you know what? The fact that people still look up to this guy after leaving the state. When the state was frozen, I don't forgive him. Screw him. He's
I'm saying people forgive him. They're like, oh,
no,
okay.
they were just already giving out excuses about, well, it's not like he's doing this. It's not like he can do this. He's the damn representative of the freaking state.
He's a jackass, dude.
And then the lie that came out of, well, we had this trip already planned, and it was like, nope. They went back and they showed he booked it when he saw the storm was coming.
Yeah, no, they had some funny memes going on with Ted Cruz. They had him as Gandalf the Wizard because they're like, what do the people want him to do? Summon the power of the sun.
Yeah.
To make everything better. It's like, no, do your job. I get that, man. But it was a bad look for him to leave.
It was, man. It's a bad look. He's just a bad person. That just is what it is. But the storm is coming. Are you prepared? Are you prepared? Again, a lot of people are like, we don't give a crap.
Bear County social shit. I would have went to Cancun too.
but you're not representing the states.
No,
I don't represent the state.
We know that.
If you were the senator and if you were saying, well, if I was senator, I would have done the same thing. Well, then you're a jackass.
Chris Gonzalez, I would have gone too. Sorry, but it's effing cold. Peace.
Okay, so the storm's gonna hit Mexico, right? But I laughed my ass off yesterday watching the Weather Channel because they asked the question, well, how come it's going to be so much rain? They said, well, it's going to stall and continuously rain on Texas. And they used the phrase, it was going to run a train on the state of Texas.
Jeez, bro.
And I thought to myself, what? What did you just say?
Come on, man. I mean, come on. Look at that, bro. I mean, how can they be serious talking about this model, dude? Like, look at what y'all are drawing on the screen, man.
You're not afraid, but something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. So again, the Victor Wembanyama of storms is coming ashore into Mexico someplace. I feel bad for those who have cruises all lined up. If they go from Galveston to Cancun or to Cozumel.
Our boy Chris Leja is going to be going on vacation to Mexico.
Yeah.
Hopefully he has a good trip, man.
Very, very cool. Hope you have a great trip as well. Last night, NBA Finals wrapped up. The Celtics wrapped it up in 5. It's funny, Joe, we didn't have any faith in the Celtics going in because the Celtics had an easy path to the finals because of all the injuries, Giannis and Embiid and
Jimmy Buckets
and Tyrese Halliburton, and all of these guys got injured. But at the end of the day, the Celtics went through every series in 5 or less.
Yeah, with hardly any injuries except for Kristaps Porzingis, who's always injury prone.
Yeah,
you know,
and people are asking the question, well, now is this one of the greatest teams of all time?
No,
I'm not going to go there, dude. I'm not going to go there. But I will say this: 2 developments in yesterday's game. We were talking about before the game 5 that we believed that Jaylen Brown was the slight favorite for MVP,
Finals MVP,
MVP, and he got it.
No surprise. I mean, he did play consistent. He was the most consistent player.
I think Tatum overtook him yesterday.
No, man, because Tatum had one.
Game. I thought for sure.
Yeah, we back.
I thought for sure that Tatum had overtaken Jaylen Brown when it comes to things. I thought for sure that they were going to announce Jayson Tatum as the MVP, and then you come out with the statistics that came out, Joe. He led the NBA in points, assists, and rebounds for the entire playoffs, and he's the 6th player to ever do that. The other 5 were named Finals MVP, and he wasn't.
Yeah, we're officially back now.
Yeah. Sith Elias, did the storm hit already?
The storm hit Joe's house. Repent, Mike. They said God's punishing you.
But Tatum, after the game, is smiling. People were wondering if he got snubbed. I think it was a snub. Now, I don't think it was the biggest of snubs, but I thought he got snubbed. I was thinking that Jaylen Brown was going to be the MVP going into the game, but I thought that Tatum, who went off yesterday for 19 points in the first half, 0 turnovers, he had 9 assists in the first half, if I'm not mistaken. I thought he had a huge game.
So 2 good games doesn't warrant
a closeout game. But Brown didn't do much of anything yesterday.
He might not have, but throughout the series and throughout the rest of the playoffs, Brown had been the more consistent of the
Tatum
players.
Averaged more points. Tatum averaged more assists, averaged more rebounds.
I don't think Brown got snubbed at all. I think he deserved that.
Now, Jaylen Brown, which is funny about it is that, Tatum was first team All-NBA. Brown was snubbed when it came to that. He wasn't even named in the any of the 3 teams. But Jaylen Brown did sign the richest contract in NBA history.
He did.
And to follow it up by being Finals MVP, very, very, very
warrants
cool.
the price tag.
Now, there is the site of Jayson Tatum's son, which was great after the game as they're celebrating, picking up his son. And if you see the still shots of this, what a remarkable sight, dude. What a remarkable sight. This is courtesy of ESPN. I feel Jayson Tatum is going to be excited that he's a champion, but I think part of him has to be a little bit irked by it all to not have his name there. And Jaylen Brown started crying when they announced him as the Finals MVP.
He's just out there doing work, dude. He wasn't expecting anything. He was happy just to win.
I'm going to call it a slight snub.
No,
I'm going to call it a slight snub. Brown didn't do much of anything yesterday, dude. He didn't. So if we're gonna give crap for Tatum to not show up on a game or 2, what happens when Brown doesn't show up on a game or 2?
I'm gonna call you out, man. You're flip flopper, just like Pledge.
No,
because you were all up for Brown first.
No, I was.
For Tatum saying
and then in the closeout game, who closed out the Mavericks? It wasn't Jaylen Brown. It was Jayson Tatum that did. It was a neck and neck race. I thought Brown was slightly ahead going into it. It is not a flip flop to say that in the last game that I thought Tatum overtook him, dude.
I'm gonna call my boy Pledge up. So get the flip flopper cue ready, brother.
So Derek White lost a tooth last night.
Look at that smile.
His smile was not pretty to begin with, dude.
That's the face of a winner.
That's
brother.
the face of a champion, baby.
Yeah.
That's a face of a champion right there. Derek White was in a dust up there with Derek Lively. Derek Lively and him were going after the loose ball. And the first thing I thought of when I saw this is that if that had happened to Caitlin Clark, there'd be congressional hearings. Derek White slammed onto the court.
That looked nasty, man.
And that would have been a flagrant 2 if that was Caitlin Clark underneath right there.
Look at this. Mike doesn't want any brown people winning anything.
Wow.
No lies detected, man.
Wow.
No lies detected.
After the game, Derek White going off and saying that he would have given up all his teeth to be a champion. I mean, he says the right things, dude. He really does. And I like looking at this team. And they did it right. They played well all season long. Derek White now a champion. The Spurs traded him away a few seasons ago.
Yeah.
But for him to give up the tooth, it reminded me of Manu Ginobili. Gave up his right nut, not the left. He gave up his right nut.
Hey, they should make a statue of that in the front of the AT&T Center, the Frost Center.
Yeah.
As you're walking in with Manu in that play, he gave up his left one. It was the left one for the Spurs.
But look at Derek White. Let's go back to his teeth. He mentioned that he had been chipped once before and that once had moved because of a play a while back earlier in the season. And now his chiclets look like this. I think you're right. Time for some veneers.
No, it seems like he keeps getting that same tooth repaired. I think it was the same one that he got chipped when he was playing with the Spurs when he took a charge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a lot of Spurs fans are excited about Derek White getting a ring. And I understand that. I really don't care. Like I said, he's not a Spur anymore. If he comes back to San Antonio, that'd be great. But Joe, moral of the story is Celtics win the 18th championship in NBA history. That is now the most among all NBA franchises. Magic Johnson got a little salty afterwards. Magic Johnson saying that he does not like the fact that the Lakers are no longer tied with them.
Well, got to win.
Magic Johnson coming out and saying on Twitter, Joe Mazzulla really improved as a coach this season and had the Celtics prepared for every round of the playoffs, making the proper adjustments on offense and defense. He did congratulate Jaylen Brown for winning the Finals MVP. And here's the tweet right there. I hate that the Celtics officially have more championships than us now. Magic Johnson, greatest point guard of all time. For my money anyway. What was interesting, Joe, is that the NBA free agency began at midnight. So think about that. The confetti is still coming down there at the TD Garden in Boston, and free agency has already started. They give them no breaks. And in fact, the NBA draft is next week. They give none of these teams any breaks. They never gave the Spurs breaks when the Spurs are winning their 5 chips. Yeah. It's just the way the NBA season works.
Yeah, I think we're now 9 or 8 days away from the NBA draft.
Yeah, I think it's the 26th.
Yeah.
So it's a week from tomorrow. But the NBA free agents are now available. So right now, what teams can do is that they can actually extend those who are eligible for extensions.
Yeah, I have the thing right here.
Okay, go ahead. If you want to read that off.
They said the rules of the offseason starts on Tuesday, June 18th, which is today. It says, what is allowed? Negotiate with your own free agent. Negotiate with the player on your roster that is on a rookie extension, that is rookie extension eligible. It says negotiate with the player on your roster that is a veteran extension eligible as of July 6th. What is not allowed? Negotiate with the free agent not on your roster. A team can begin negotiating at 6 p.m. Eastern time on the 30th. And it says announce publicly that a team agent and player that a team and free agent have reached an agreement or contract. And the first allowable date is anywhere from July the 6th through the 12th. Or July the 6th, I'm sorry, at 12:01 p.m. Eastern time, which is 11 o'clock our time. Violation of the rules and fines up to $2 million, forfeiture of draft picks and or suspension of team personnel.
So it sounds like you could tamper with your own players.
You can, but you can't tamper with the other players.
Right, and then at some point you can play footsie with the other players.
Well, here's the
but then you can't announce it until later on.
Well, here's
which
the
is kind of like
stipulation.
when the Spurs got screwed over by by a player
Marquise Morris.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is that you as an organization can't talk to said players. They never said nothing about other
agents.
players
Yeah.
talking with other players privately.
So according to hoopsrumors.com, here are the top free agents for 2024. Paul George has a player option to stay with the Clippers. Tyrese Maxey, who I love, restricted free agent, and that basically means that he can sign with any team, but if the Sixers match the contract, he has to stay. Pascal Siakam is unrestricted free agent, forward out of Indiana. LeBron James has a player option. OG Anunoby expected to stay with the Knicks on a player option as well. DeMar DeRozan is an unrestricted free agent.
I wouldn't mind having him.
Could come back to the Spurs. Emmanuel Quickley, restricted. Center Nick Claxton. If there's ever a player out there that I watch and I think to myself, this guy walks and talks like an old school Spur, it's Nick Claxton. He's just a bulldog down low. And I would like him because I think he would protect Wemby better than any other player as far as, anyone gives him any crap. Anyone tries to hit.
You want somebody to go out there and stand up for
the
him.
enforcer.
Yeah.
I think Nick Claxton would go in there and beat the living
technically,
crap out of somebody.
shouldn't that be Zach Collins?
That should actually be Sohan.
Sohan gets scrappy when they come up against him.
Collins has really shared the court a lot with Wemby.
Yeah, but I'm saying you can come off the bench and get the fine or what have you, get a suspension, stick up for your guy. But Sohan, he gets scrappy when they come up against him and push him on the ground. But when they're pushing the other players, he's like,
no player's going to get suspended for Wemby.
But I'm saying if it's a bad foul,
no player's going to get suspended.
I mean, I would.
That's way too much money.
I would.
That's way too much money. James Harden, unrestricted. Malik Monk, unrestricted. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. This is not a very big list here. Miles Bridges. Isaiah Hartenstein from the Knicks. A lot of Spurs fans got really excited about this guy. He's expected to get somewhere between 18 and 22 million per year. Klay Thompson, Tyus Jones, who's Trey Jones' brother. Tobias Harris, Patrick Williams, Gary Trent Jr., Royce O'Neal, and Isaac Okoro. Not a very big class of free agents here for 2024, but again, free agency period has begun as of today. If you want to extend your own guys, if you want to work on your own guys, your own free agents, if you will.
Yeah. Look at D'Lo. He says he's talking about Paul George. That's the latest rumor that's out there. He said he will be a Sixer. Go look. When him and Embiid were on the NBA countdown, Joel says, we will get better this offseason, and did the look at Paul George.
Yeah, is Paul George going to take $10 million? Because what money are they going to do? If you're paying Embiid, if you're paying Tyrese Maxey, exactly how are you going to do that? What are you going to offload?
Sun is starting to set on his career. What do you want to do?
Who's that?
Paul George.
Well, right, but if given the choice, Embiid given the choice of playing with Paul George or Maxey, he'd better want to play with Maxey.
Oh, no doubt.
Sith coming out and saying, I want Klay. Klay is still a decent player. He's just not an all-star anymore, and he won't ever be an all-star anymore.
I like Christopher Leha. What's up, Chris Leha? MCS General Contracting in the house. He says, y'all need to stop and let Brian Wright work. Trust the process with the crying emoji laughing.
Yeah, you got to trust the process. Spurs coming out there saying, we got to build it brick by brick. And the only bricks I can think of are the shots being taken by a lot of these players.
Yeah. How many more years of mediocrity are the fans going to?
I'm hoping for mediocrity. We are years of suckage.
I would go for one more year of mediocrity where they're barely winning 20 plus games because the draft is so good. If you're going to tank, this is the year to do it.
This is the year. 2023 was the year. We got Wemby. 2025 is the year to do it as well. I hate to say it, but it's true.
Do it again.
But at that point, you would have wasted half of Wemby's rookie contract.
Hey, but you know what? If you tank in the beginning of his career and then the rest of his career, you're actually in that conversation of, hey, can this team actually win a chip? Can they get further in the playoffs? If they're going into the semifinals with this young squad, that bodes well for Wemby's career.
Sam Selena saying mediocrity would be welcomed over the bottom of the league, which is where the Spurs are right now. But I see what you're going at right now, and this is it's a tough pill to swallow because I'm ready for this team to win.
But you need pieces.
This month is the 10-year anniversary of the Spurs winning their last title.
Oh, in 2020,
it's
2014.
been 10 years. I made mention of the point last week. I don't know if you saw this tweet. That the second highest paid Spur last year was Greg Popovich.
Oh,
Greg Popovich made more money.
There we go.
Greg Popovich made more money combined than Devin Vassell, Jeremy Sohan, Julian Champagny, Mamu, and Sidi Sissoko. He made all of their salaries combined and then some. You're not going to win when that happens. And I went back in time when the Spurs were winning games with Tim, Tony, and Manu, and it was a smaller salary cap and coaches were making less. Pop wasn't making that money. So is Pop getting paid like payback severance? Is that what he's doing right now?
It's a gentleman's agreement.
It's a gentleman's agreement because this is 5 losing seasons in a row, and it's going to get to 6, and he's going to be 77 years old on the bench.
Coach Pop's going to be your highest paid player on the team. Our coach.
Yeah, he is. He's the second highest paid coach in the league right now.
Man.
And so many Spurs fans are like, well, he deserves it. No, he deserved it 5 years ago. You don't get to be living on severance for 15, 20 years because you want to. Because you want to. That's not it, man. Good grief, man. Spurs aren't going to win jack with Pop as head coach anymore. The game has passed him by. How many, coach of the year votes, right? Like 12 or 15 coaches got at least one vote. How many did Pop get?
You still growing the scruff?
0.
I just noticed that. I shaved today.
Oh, you did shave today.
I shaved today.
Yeah, I'm on day 11. So Friday is going to be day 14 of it all. Then I'll go get it in.
Look at Jason Garcia said, "Will we rather take mediocrity or Mike trying to grow facial hair?"
Hey, man, it's working though, man. Joe, is it not there? Does it not exist?
It still needs to come in, man.
Do I need to go over there and show the update?
It's coming in.
Let me go show the update.
Oh God, no, I'm good, bro. That means you have to get next to me. I'm the clean shaven one today. I had to actually shave because I've been having to do a lot of paperwork and a lot of stuff behind the scenes. Full disclosure here, because I'm being courted by the Department of Homeland Security for a job in their IT sector.
So what can't happen is Midwest and Swiss and all of those guys cannot do anything on you. Like what are they called? The Photoshops,
the memes or whatever.
Photoshops.
Yeah,
You gotta lay off of that, Joe.
Yeah. Well, I have my final interviews coming up on Thursday, but I have to shave.
When you're down for a job, crap like that can't be on Twitter.
No, I'm good, bro.
Homeland Security is gonna be like, who's this Two Shots podcast guy? And why is he a pedophile? That's what happened to me, dude. Man. That's what happened to me. I was up for a big gig, and all that crap was going on. I was like, take that crap down, man.
You see, the more that you complain, the worse that it's going to get.
Oh no! It's not going to get worse because I have methods of taking care of that.
Oh my God!
I have methods of taking care of such things.
It's a light shadow, is what Jason.
It's a light shadow. It's a light shadow because part of it's white, dude. Again, white on top, white on bottom.
Jason Garcia,
black on top, black on bottom.
It's a trap. No, it's not a trap. It's good, man. It's a good career move.
Department of Homeland Security. Gonna get that federal job, baby. Gotta get that pension, baby.
Yeah, man. I get that. I'm set for life, brother.
You know who's set for life? Justin Timberlake. He could afford today's bail. Let's go ahead and get that bump in, man.
The entertainment bump.
Let's do it early today. We'll go back to sports. Well, there's a headline right there on TMZ. Justin Timberlake arrested for DWI someplace in New York. He has been arraigned and released without bail, charged with 1 count of DWI for failure to keep in his lane. He has a court date next month. He already has an attorney named Ed Burke Jr. And the traffic stop happened after a party. He was apparently partying at some hotel. And sources told TMZ that Justin appeared glassy-eyed, that he smelled of alcohol, and that he failed a field sobriety test. Justin Timberlake popped for DWI.
He refused, right? He refused the test.
Did he refuse it? Is that why he failed it?
Yeah, because he refused it. He didn't want to take the breathalyzer test. He refused it. So
yeah,
they have other means of testing the blood alcohol content.
First of all, the field sobriety test is BS, isn't it?
Well, it is BS.
Dude, I have not had any alcohol today.
Try doing that sober.
If you gave me a field sobriety test, it's designed to make you fail. It's not designed to check anything other than just to give somebody probable cause to arrest you. That's all it is. I would never take a field sobriety test because there's no way to pass it. No. Like if I went if people who are cops, right? If anyone's a law enforcement officer watching or listening to this, or if you know one,
I do
ask the question: has anyone ever passed that? Because if someone asked me to recite the alphabet backwards, I would fail in the fourth letter. I'd be like Z Y.
You know what's going to be funny?
U.
When
I miss V.
When one of my best friends comes back into town here, because she comes back to visit every once in a while. Her name's Celine. Shout out to you, Celine. She's a lady cop, right, in Dallas. When she comes back here, I'm going to have her do the field sobriety test on the show. That would be hilarious.
I like it. Chris Gonzalez with the tweet of the day, or the comment of the day. Justin's got this feeling of feeling drunk. It feels electric. Sorry.
I'm feeling drunk. Oh, God.
Now, Chris actually posted that knowing that I would sing it, right? That's what he did. He knew it. Hand of a fist saying smart on JT for not doing that. For not doing the field sobriety test.
Mario Cavazos. I failed it at 19.
Midtown coming out and saying, if Greg Simmons can't pass, nobody can, according to Mike.
Oh, God. Mike's going to ask for a pat down like the TSA.
Dude, hey, I've had 3 flights in a row where I didn't get felt up.
Oh.
But, it's one of those things. It happens to a lot of people. So it's when it happens multiple times that it becomes an issue. Like you can let somebody slide one time, and if they didn't hurt anybody, didn't cause an accident or whatever the case may be, I can let one slide, right?
Yeah.
But if it happens multiple times, then you actually have a problem. There's a problem there. But again, he was taken into custody in New York, in a place called Sag Harbor, New York. I have no idea where Sag Harbor is.
Either way,
it's in the Hamptons.
Oh,
it's in the Hamptons. So he was in the rich part of New York.
Yeah.
The Hamptons, by the way, is the beach
the
area,
ritzy side
of New York. That's where all the millionaires. That's where Diddy was having his white. His
when he was
parties.
doing his diddling.
Yeah, that's what the Jeffrey Epstein, when he was out there with Clinton and Trump. They were doing those parties out there. That happens in the Hamptons.
I wonder if we're gonna do some day drinking tomorrow during the show, man. I'm down for a little pour. I actually made a drink.
Yeah.
That I was gonna share with you tomorrow.
Nice.
So it's a little bit of half and half tea, right? With raspberry schnapps, a little bit of lime juice, and you can put some fruit and everything in there.
Nice.
And you have it baking for about 24 hours, right? Shake it up and everything and put it in the fridge. We'll have a little pour tomorrow. See what it tastes like. I
sold you a bottle of Buffalo Trace, man, from when I was sick back in the day.
But we could try it tomorrow.
Do you think Justin Timberlake's going to mention this at his concert on Friday?
Of course.
Performing in Chicago.
Chance. No chance.
No chance at all.
No chance. Why would he do that?
So Justin Timberlake is 43 years old, and he's married to actress Jessica Biel. Jessica Biel back in the day, she was a nugget back in the day. Like she would have been a top 16 nugget back in the day.
Yeah, look at that. Sam Salinas says tomorrow is a holiday. It is a holiday tomorrow. My daughter's off. She was telling me it was a holiday tomorrow. What better way to celebrate than to have a little bit of day drinking on the show?
That means I'm off from work too, because when the stock market's closed, I'm closed. That's them rules.
Hey, you don't make the rules. That's them rules.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do some day drinking tomorrow. I'm excited about that.
All right, there you go. Before the rain comes, I'm gonna be like Lieutenant Dan on top of the boat on Forrest Gump. Is this the best you can do?
We'll play a drinking game with everyone tomorrow. Every time Mike says something that's coconut worthy, you take a shot.
Interesting. Why do I have yesterday I was talking to you about Claire Dunphy from
from what is it called? Modern Family.
And you were like, why do you think she's hot? I think brains and being funny is hot. And let's go ahead and show my screen.
Oh man.
Jen Carfagno, it is her season. It is her time to shine on the Weather Channel. 48 years old. She's been there for like 20 years. She was on this morning. I tell you what, dude, this is it does it for me, dude.
Nugget.
It does it for me. Let me see if I can
go and click on show in tab or something like that, or open up in tab. And then just click on the tab and you should have an enlarged picture.
Oh, Jen Carfagno from the Weather Channel. Beauty and brains. Y'all can keep Yannick Garcia, dude. That's just a booty, dude, with nothing up top, dude.
Look at Sam Salinas. Do a remote somewhere. We'll all show up. we'll be drunk by noon.
Oh, you know what? Maybe we can.
Where?
maybe we can. Maybe we go to Mad Packer. Maybe we go to.
I need to talk with the owner anyway. So.
Oh, what the hell's going on there? See, what's wrong with this, dude? I mean, she looks good in the LL Bean. Do you know how many followers she has on Twitter?
I bet she has a lot.
She's coming up on 1 million followers on Twitter.
Jason Garcia. The stations in Mexico have better meteorologists than the U.S.
The stations in Mexico don't have meteorologists. You think Yannick Garcia is taking a class in weather?
Nah.
No.
Nah.
She's a big butt who memorizes a script, dude.
Look at Paul Cantu. Joe Reinagle reminds me of Phil Dunphy from Modern Family.
That's funny. But Jen Carfagno has my heart every summer, dude. And Jim Cantori, who does the Weather Channel, dude. I love the Weather Channel people, dude. Jim Cantori and all those guys. I like it because when it's the middle of the storm, 150 mile per hour winds, it's this dude that's always in the middle of it.
Jeez, man.
I love it, dude. If I went into
battling the rain and the wind.
I went into broadcast media. I probably should. Oh, there he is. There he is.
Not even that bad. Like 20 mile an hour winds. I'm going into the eye of the storm. Oh, it's being pushed back. Like, come on, guy.
My goodness. Chris Leal saying that I cannot believe that women are hot and smart. That Jen Carfagno has a doctorate, for crying out loud. She's hot and she's smart. Mexican meteorologists don't have degrees. Well, first of all, if they're a meteorologist, they have a degree. I'm talking about the big booty girls on Telemundo.
That's what he's saying.
The big booty girls.
I think that's what he's referring to. Dude. They just come into the room and the guy that's hiring, the hiring manager, do a little turnaround. You're hired.
It's like here's the casting couch. That is what goes on over there. It's funny because whenever there's a really big storm, what do? They bring in the old viejo from the old man that's behind the scenes to actually do the weather.
It probably, what is the prerequisite? Do you look like the Camino Real girls? Let's do a little voltita. All right.
Oh my God. The Camino Real girls were going at it yesterday. Oh my goodness. I'm in love. But what did you think about them being called the Victor Wembanyama of storms? Are you okay with that?
Nah, I think that's just a reach right there, man. They have these storms every year, dude. Every year.
I respect it, though. Let's give some love to Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs at Ken's 5.
And we're going to have him on tomorrow, too.
Yeah.
Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share.
I subscribe on Spotify and YouTube, and you should too, man. He has an article, Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs, and this is on kens5.com, an article about how the general manager of the Atlanta Hawks says that the team is leaning towards keeping the number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft. Again, they only had a 3% chance of winning the draft lottery last month. They won. This is an interesting development, man, because, again, the Hawks at number 1, they may or may not want to have that pick, right? It's a weird position that they're in. They're fortunate to be in that position, but they were already in talks of possibly getting rid of DeJounte Murray, possibly getting rid of Trae Young, and the Spurs were kind of potentially in that mix there. The Spurs have their 2025 pick unprotected, 2027 pick unprotected, and the rights of a swap in 26. The Hawks need to do something quick. They either have to rebuild with DeJounte and Trae Young, or they got to get rid of these guys. And it's just kind of, they're in a weird position as to what are they going to do. Now, when it comes to the draft, I know all the mock drafts out there are saying that it's either going to be Zachary Reese-Sarchet, the small forward from France, or it's going to be Alex Sarr, the center. But Donovan Clingan made a visit to Atlanta. And I would not be 100% shocked, Joe, if Clingan's name was picked number 1 overall. If they said, screw the mock drafts, this is our guy. If they pulled a Brian Wright and said, I know this guy is projected to be 28 or 30, we're going to take him at 12, I would not be surprised if the Atlanta Hawks did that, because the Hawks have a lot of needs. It would be in their best interest to fall back. It really would be.
You mean the Spurs' interest?
well, it'd be in the best interest for the Hawks to drop back.
Okay.
But the articles, they're saying that the GM is shutting down the talks right now, saying, look, we're going to keep this pick more than likely, and we're going to pick at number 1. But what I am saying is that they could drop to 3 or 4 and pick up more talent, pick up more draft capital. That's why you hear all this insinuation that the Spurs could get rid of 4 and 8 to move up to number 1 if the Spurs have a really, really high hopes on one guy. But again, as we've been talking about for the last month or two, this is a very weak draft.
Yeah, I got a lot of role players in here, not a lot of stars, man.
Yeah, it's role player city. But again, you can go to kens5.com or you can follow Jeff Garcia at Jeff G Spurs Zone on Twitter and Threads.
Yeah, let's not get us the words twisted. What we mean by role players is you're going to have pieces, and they're going to be okay pieces. You know, Marbach, nice.
Yeah.
You know, but they're not going to be those superstars that are going to come in and immediately change your team around for the better.
Right.
You know, they're not going to have that dramatic impact that you're looking going from 20-win seasons to maybe a 50-win season.
Exactly.
You know,
we should have already had that with Wemby, though.
Hey, not with this cast of characters that you have around Wemby.
Oh no, I thought we had a good team, man. I thought we had a good team.
This ain't it. Hey, they've obviously showed you that this ain't it, man.
Go on to Spotify and check out Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer. I think Kevin O'Connor does one of the best analysis when it comes to the NBA draft. He updated The Ringer's 2024 NBA draft guide. I want to go through that right now because if Atlanta's going to pick the number 1 guy overall, according to Kevin O'Connor, they're going to get that guy that was just at the Spurs club the other day at the Rocket Lock and Tear. They're going to go get Zachary Reese-Archet number 1 overall. 3-and-D guy.
Yeah.
You know, a project, yes. Is he going to be able to be plugged and played early on? No. But again, potential upside. Also out of France, Alex Sarr going number 2 to the Washington Wizards, according to Kevin O'Connor of The Ringer. I buy it.
Kevin O'Connor from The Ringer. It's called the Crossover NBA Show. I believe that's what it does. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Number 3, he updated this last night. Reed Shepherd, Kentucky sharpshooter, going to the Houston Rockets. Spurs getting Matas Buzelis of the G League Ignite. Now, number 5, I found to be interesting. Okay, well, let's go back to Buzelis. Buzelis, I would not be mad at it. He's 6'9". Yeah. He's still growing. Played for the G League Ignite. He's going to go ahead of his teammate Ron Holland. The guy has the ability to close. He plays the game with balls, man. I hate seeing Jakob Poeltl and Zach Collins play volleyball underneath the basket, dude. Just get the ball and put it through the damn hole, man. Put it through the hoop. And Buzelis has the balls to go out there and dunk it through.
Yeah. And I'm seeing the same thing as well. Looking at The Ringer, and it's on the NBA, on the Ringer's website. If you go to the Ringer's website and you look for Kevin O'Connor's latest update on his big board,
I like this. It is the big board. So the analysis says, according to Kevin O'Connor, quote, Buzelis would be an ideal fit next to Wemby because of a blend of size, shot creation skill, and defensive versatility. He would need to prove that he can shoot threes at a reliable level, but the Spurs have a history of improving shooters. League sources say that the Spurs, who have the 4th and 8th picks, could try to package them to move up, but I feel that they should keep both, as there are a number of prospects who would be ideal fits with Wemby. So why not get 2 instead of just 1? Wingspan of almost 7 feet. Now, here's the thing, though, Joe. Number 5, Kevin O'Connor, who I do trust, has Detroit going after Cody Williams, who in most mock drafts is going around 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Yeah.
But Cody Williams, the brother of Jaylen Williams of J-Dub, over in Oklahoma City, coming out of Colorado, 19 years old, 6'7", 7'1" wingspan. I like Cody Williams. If the Spurs got Cody Williams at 8, I would not be mad at it.
Yeah.
Number 6, according to Kevin O'Connor, the big board, Stephon Castle of UConn, who I have a slight chub for, saying that he would work well with LaMelo Ball, even though Castle has said that he wants to go to a place to play point. Donovan Clegan, number 7, the UConn center, going to the Portland Trailblazers, and he has the Spurs getting Devin Carter out of Providence, the point guard, saying that, quote, Carter is one of the draft's best perimeter defenders. Pairing him with Wemby would create a pick-and-roll defending duo that would immediately be one of the NBA's best. And on offense, Carter can thrive with or without the ball. So he'd fit into a multi-handler offense. Rounding out the top 10, Ron Holland going to the Grizzlies and Dalton Knecht of Tennessee going to the Jazz. Now, as far as the other players that we've heard of in the past, Rob Dillingham going 11.
Dropping.
Zach Edey going 12, and Nikola Topic dropping all the way to 13 because of those injuries.
God, why would Oklahoma want Zach Edey?
Saloon going 14. Dude, the big board by Kevin O'Connor is a big deal, man. It's a big deal. I like his analysis. He does a really good job. At 35, the Spurs going after Jamal Sheed. He has visited the Spurs complex. Senior out of Houston.
Did they drop the curtain?
Plays point guard. They dropped the curtain so we couldn't watch. And then going on at number was Spurs have 47?
Yeah.
48. Melva and Shika of France. Stash away.
Yeah, it's gonna say stash and draft.
A 3-and-D stash guy.
He'll never see the light of day over here, bro.
Let me see if Bronny James is on here.
God, is he?
55. One of the last picks in the draft going to the Lakers. I buy a lot of this, dude. But there's going to be that one wrinkle that happens in the draft, man. There's going to be that one. What the hell just happened?
Be the Spurs at number 4 picking somebody who should have win later, man.
Look at it. Spurs are going to get Saloon at 4, where everyone's going to look up and go, what the hell are they doing?
Everybody likes Matas, right? It is Matisse or whatever you want to call him. If he comes over here and plays with San Antonio, his nickname is going to be Matalo.
Matalo. I knew you were going there, dude.
Matalo.
I knew you were going to go there. That's
everybody in the crowd's going to be like, what are they saying? What are they saying? It's just like when we went to go see the Spurs play. Remember when we were like 5 rows from the court?
Yeah.
And me and Christopher Leha were saying, Wembeyaso, eso, Wembeyaso. Yeah. And there all the white people around us were all scared. Oh my God, what are they saying? Wembeyaso. They were scared of us. It was fun times, man. Can't wait to go back this year. Hopefully the team will play better. I bet you anything this next time that we go and we get, good seats again, Sohan will have another great game.
I know. Bobby Marks of ESPN, he does a fantastic doing an analysis with the about like things going on in the front offices, saying here are the teams in the most trouble when it comes to luxury tax payments this year. The Golden State Warriors have a luxury tax of $176.9 million, which means that Klay Thompson's not coming back. The Clippers,
that's an awful lot of money, man.
The Clippers 142, Phoenix Suns 68, Milwaukee Bucks 55, Boston 44, Denver 20, Miami 15, and the Lakers 7.
Look at Vane Stain. He says Sohan's gonna drop 30 on Mike when he's watching.
It's happened twice before.
I want him to drop 30 and then point at you in the crowd.
Yeah.
Run by you.
Like Reggie Miller back in the day.
Give you a little wink. Point at you, give you a little wink.
Grab his nuts. So let's talk about Luka Doncic, man. Luka, there was a great topic that they had on ESPN early today. Asked the question, did Luka's reputation take a hit in the finals? Is it more positive or more negative? Because here's the thing. He got to the finals with a team. He led a team to the finals that didn't even make the playoffs last year, didn't even make the play-in last year. But at the end of the day, got exposed for being a crybaby. And I know a lot of NBA stars cry.
I think he got exposed for being more than a crybaby. What Luka has shown you is that Luka is a defensive liability out there on the court. While he can help his team from a defensive standpoint, this Mavericks team just was so banged up, beat up, especially Luka. I mean, there was just nothing left in the tank.
Well, let me ask you this. Is he a one-dimensional player?
I think he is a one-dimensional player.
And that's the thing. Whenever people talk about like the 10 greatest NBA players of all time, oftentimes they say, well, Steph Curry. When you look at the best players of all time, the top 10, whether it be Kareem, Bill Russell, Michael Jordan, Duncan, Kobe, Shaq, they were not only legendary players offensively, but they brought it defensively.
Yeah, and that's the thing that Luka doesn't have. He's shown you that he just can't compete at that defensive level, that elite level.
Right.
While at times he can go ahead and play defense, he is capable of doing it. He just can't sustain that throughout the whole game. And when he's out there on the court, he's not looking to play defense. He just wants to get the ball and score.
Well, Vane basically says, I think Luka can improve at least on team defense, right? And Jesse A saying Luka ain't serious. If he was, his body would be in shape. And that's exactly where I was going to go in response to
He needs to lose
Vane's
some weight.
answer.
Put down that beer.
He needs to be in peak physical condition, and he's not.
Michael Finley.
not.
Ever since Michael Finley took away his beer.
Yeah, it's like that meme that came out, took away the title, the title, took away the championship trophy. No, Luka, I mean, is a very, very good player offensively, and arguably is the top 3 player in the NBA. In fact, we went as far as saying that he was the best player in the NBA about 2 weeks ago. But he got exposed. And whenever you play an individual game, 82-game season, right, you don't have adjustments being made to you. That's the thing about the playoffs and why it's different. That's why certain players, we talk about how certain players like Chris Paul III, right, legends in the regular season, not in the playoffs. Well, why is that? It's because when you play a team 4 out of 7, the team has several looks at you and can expose you. And what do they expose? They expose the fact that Luka was a liability defensively. You saw it yesterday. He was guarding Jaylen Brown, like the second play of the game, got a foul, and then he complained about the foul. And he was holding on to his arm, like his whole shoulder. It was an obvious call, and then he goes off and complains. And Brian Windhorst of ESPN has gone out and eviscerated the guy, and did it again today. He said, Windhorst today on Get Up.
Did he do his?
Windhorst today was saying that he saw a scouting report of Luka Doncic that's 10 years old from when Luka was 15.
Yeah, not much changed.
Said, great shooter, good teammate, yada, yada, yada. Biggest con, cannot stop complaining to officials. And that it was all in like capitalized letters with several exclamation points. That has been his thing since 15, since he was 12, that he's just been a big bitch his entire life. And it got exposed because now we see it more and more every day. We saw it in 7-game series after 7-game series. Now, I know a lot of players do that. LeBron is just as bad. Okay, LeBron is not as bad as Luka. Luka is like an elite level. And then there's LeBron, and then there's everybody else, right? But the thing about it is that we're seeing certain players that only do things one-dimensionally. And is that the way that basketball is going now? Steph Curry can't play defense for dick either.
Yeah.
Luka can't play defense either.
He can't play defense. And, that's just the weakness of his game. And, that the thing is, at the end of the day, if that's a weakness in your game, teams are going to expose you, especially when it comes to playing at that elite level when you're going into the finals. The problem with Luka is that he had a bad matchup. Jaylen Brown, he just locked him down, dude. Luka he got him out of it from an offensive standpoint.
Yeah,
he never got in rhythm, and it wasn't just Luka; it was the Mavs as a whole. They came in just flat. They didn't match the energy. The Boston Celtics wanted to go ahead and win this game at home, and they made sure that they just took the Mavs out of it. They never let them get in any type of rhythm. They tried to make little runs, and that's all it was. It was false hope because they would lock them down.
Well, there was 2 things, man. It was the 1 week wait the Dallas Mavericks had when they were on fire, man. They were dispatching teams, man.
Yeah.
Dispatching teams that they weren't supposed to beat.
Yeah.
And then you have on the other side, you have a 1 week delay. They lost their momentum,
their mojo.
And on top of that, they couldn't prepare for the Celtics because the Celtics had been playing the entire playoffs without Porzingis.
Yeah.
And then you add this 7-foot unicorn out there, and you couldn't prepare for it.
He dropping dimes on him, dude. Just dropping threes like nobody's business,
and just protecting the rim, dude. A lot of the blocks that he didn't get never showed up on the box score, but he was altering shots. I know he got hurt towards the end of game 2, but he was out there yesterday. Game. Pretty close game. They brought him in. The crowd stood up and started cheering. And you knew at that point that the Mavericks weren't going to do anything.
Yeah, and he had a dunk too, and it electrified the crowd.
It did, but it's hard to say how you look at the Mavericks right now because in one respect, it's like Luka got exposed. Luka's a bitch, but he's also one of the best players in the NBA. He's out of shape.
Yeah.
Is the injury because of an injury? Is the injury because he's not?
Look at what is
conditioned.
Injured. Look at what is injured on Luka. When you're out of shape and you're kind of big, you're carrying some weight on you. And he's not like saying that he's obese by any means. I mean, he's rocking the dad bod. But look at what's getting injured on him. The knees. You know,
That's a weight issue.
it's a weight issue, man. Like you're carrying too much weight up top. If you really want to help your team lose weight,
like Zion.
yeah, you have too much weight. He's always banged up.
Can you imagine if Luka came back into the league chiseled? Like he
Dude,
really focused.
He'd be flying out there on the court.
What is he eating to be that big?
I don't know.
Okay, we are of a certain size because of how much we eat and also because of that. But this is the guy who plays NBA basketball, 82 games, 100 games in a season, and he's that big. I don't get it. Yeah. Is he pounding beers?
I don't know, man, what his vice is, dude. But if you lose some weight, I mean, especially when you're trying to win a chip, you're going to have longevity in the league because he's already young and he's all banged up on his knees all the time.
He needs to understand that those chances of going to the finals don't always happen. Look at Dan Marino. Dan Marino made it to the Super Bowl so young, and everyone was like, well, he'll get a ring. He'll eventually get back. And
Charlie Hernandez.
He parties a lot. Talking
that
about
might be
Luka.
his vice.
But look at the end. Look at the Western Conference right now. And this is the problem with the Spurs right now. Oklahoma City made it as the number 1 overall seed, and they were the second youngest team in the NBA. The Denver Nuggets have Nikola Jokic, who's won 3 out of 4 MVPs. Minnesota's getting better. They've got twin towers down low. I know Gobert is sometimes an enigma as to what he brings to the table.
Yeah.
But when you have Anthony Edwards and you have Karl Anthony Towns, you're a big thing. When Kawhi is rocking and rolling, Kawhi is a top 5 player in the NBA when he's actually healthy.
Yeah, but he hasn't been healthy for quite some time.
Then you've got the Mavericks. The Suns are probably going downward unless they get a big name.
Yeah, they need to blow that team up, dude.
The Lakers are kind of just meandering. The Pelicans are getting better. They were 49-33 this year. Sacramento, no joke. I mean, when you have Sabonis and De'Aaron and all those guys, you're gonna win games.
They're a good team and well coached.
Golden State still has Steph. The Rockets went from being one of the worst teams in the league to a 500 team at 41-41. Memphis might be getting a little bit better, and then you got the Spurs, and it's like for the Spurs to make leaps, it took 49 wins to get into the playoffs. It took 46 to get into the play-in.
Remind me how many wins the Spurs had this last season?
Well, it took 46 wins, right, to get into the play-in. Last 2 seasons, the Spurs have had 44 combined.
Exactly. And I'm just telling you, at the end of the day, this team ain't it, man. And I don't care what Spurs fans say. They can get mad at me. They can say anything they want to say. Oh, this team's going to get a lot better this season. No, they're not. They're not going to get any better. But you know what? I'm not mad at it because this upcoming draft is great. And I hope the Spurs get their guy. Tank again. Do it one more season.
The Spurs need new leadership on the bench.
They need some help.
Dude, I am done with pop apologists. And I'm not going to go into the rant of things, right? I'm not going to have a meltdown. But if anybody believes that a 76, 77, 78-year-old man is going to lead a rebuild simply because he won a title 12 years before, you're out of your mind.
Look at Mario Cavazos. Luka is more Mexican than Mike. The boy is fluent in Spanish and enjoys his green enchiladas. Enchiladas verdes.
Well, here's the thing. Going into Europe, everyone speaks several languages. It was funny. If you go to Europe, all the countries are so close to each other.
So they speak Spanish too.
Well, because Spain's there.
Yeah, it's right there.
So you've got, the state of Texas is essentially the size of Europe.
Yeah.
Okay. It's a little bit, Europe's a little bit bigger, but for all intents and purposes, it's basically it, right? Imagine if the state of Texas had inside of it Italy, Spain, France, Germany, Belgium, England. That's basically what goes on. So yeah, everyone knows different languages. You go to France, they know Spanish and they know French because French and Spanish are basically sister languages.
Same
and same
thing
with Italian.
Yeah.
So they all get to know all that stuff, and it's funny because one time I went to Europe one time. It was my 20th birthday. It happened to be my 20th birthday because I was on spring break from college at Texas State. My sister was out there with her friends from church, and they asked last minute. This was before 9/11. I was able to get my passport within a matter of days.
Yeah.
I flew out there for $279.
Cheap, man.
Went out there, and I remember going to this one gift shop. And I asked the lady certain questions, like, do they have this in large? Do they have this in whatever, right? And she tells me in French, I can get the gist, saying that she doesn't know English.
Yeah.
And she's asked me if I know French.
Me tienen en mi talla.
And I said no. So anyway, I ended up speaking to her in Spanish.
Yeah.
With as much broken Spanish as I have, I'm asking her how much certain things are. I'm asking her if they have it in certain sizes. My broken Spanish. I understand a lot of Spanish. I just don't speak it very well.
Yeah.
But I tried. And we did the whole transaction. And then she looks at me and goes, that'll be $18. And I gave her a look, and she just started laughing and laughing. And she goes, I knew you were American before you came in. And I'm looking at her going, well, I'm brown.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, you're American by the way you walk and by the way you shop.
Yeah.
She laughed. She gave me a free keychain, which I carried around for like 15 years. It was an Eiffel Tower keychain. And she goes, I appreciate the fact that you attempted another language. She goes, that was a test of me on you because Americans don't know second languages.
Yeah.
And she goes, you at least tried. And she goes, the difference between an American and a non-American is the way that they walk. And when you go and shop, she goes, Americans come in here and buy. They don't shop. They don't look around because they go in there, they're in and out in the store in 5 minutes, whatever, as opposed to browsing and trying things on and all that stuff. And she goes, Americans are just transactional in what they do.
Yeah.
But I'll always remember that experience of her laughing at me and telling me, thank you for trying Spanish. She goes, I know Spanish, I know English, I know German, I know Italian, I know all that stuff. And I guess she was the owner of the shop.
Did she say they had it in Royale?
Yeah, so I want to go to Burger King and have the Royale with cheese. Dude, when I went to Jamaica, every freaking corner of Jamaica had a KFC. I didn't realize KFC was like the official restaurant of Jamaica, but it was.
Oh my God, they already know you, bro.
Sam Salinas, Mike's tall tale time, and then he banged her.
Oh God. She spotted the cocoa. Oh God.
Goodness.
Yeah, everybody's saying about Luka needs to lose some weight too, man.
He does, and Wemby does not need to gain weight. Remember that whole thing about it?
No.
You keep that guy slender, man.
You don't want to put weight on a big man like that. The knees,
the feet,
the feet. Yeah, man. No.
So, Poodles in Paris.
God.
I'm gonna make it happen somehow, some way.
Poodles in Paris, bro.
I'm gonna make it somehow, some way.
You know, what's his name? Rick Fernandez. You and him, you get along great, dude, because you all are high energy, right?
Yeah.
He's down, dude. He's wanting to go. Poodles in Paris, man. You go out there with Rick, dude. You all be meeting celebrities and everything.
Oh, I know. I'll be getting selfies with everybody. I'll get to meet Malika Andrews, and
he's got that knack for it, man.
Malika Andrews is so beautiful, dude. So beautiful. Now, we posted Steph Mejia, if you want to show my screen.
Yeah, I was seeing that too. She just posted something. I retweeted it.
Yeah, so she has a Chicana Fuerte. She is part of the Alamo City Podcast Network. Posted on Twitter early today. Fuerte Productions. I was trying to see what the second word was. Fuerte Productions. And it says, understanding your passion and creating the vision, podcast producer, content creator. So if you want to go check her out as a photographer or whatever you need her for.
Videography, you know?
Yeah. There you go. Congratulations to her. Generation Duo had a new podcast that dropped yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
What were they talking about yesterday? What was the content that they have?
I don't know. I'm gonna look right now because I
was listening to part of it earlier this morning. But it's hosted by Brandon Big Papi Medina and his friend. I always forget his friend's name.
Johnny Tejera.
Yeah,
it looks like what were they talking about? They were talking about a sing-along to brighten your spirits, followed by some good humor to bring you a smile. It says, look no further than the new episode of Generation Duo, which is out now. It came out yesterday, so make sure you go and check that out. I just retweeted it this morning, so it's up on our Alamo City Podcast Network YouTube channel.
Wait, did Jake Paul have a new fight?
Yeah, I think he went ahead and is trying to finalize the deal.
This is according to Days in Boxing, 750,000 followers. July 20th. Isn't that the day that he was supposed to fight Mike Tyson?
I believe so, but Tyson, of course, he got hurt. And I just saw this too because I saw DAZN post this about 8 minutes ago, and it says Jake Paul versus
Mike Perry.
Platinum Perry is live on DAZN around the world on July the 20th
in Tampa, Florida. So not in Jerry World, which is where the
and of course
Tyson fight was supposed to be.
It's a pay-per-view. I mean, this is an exhibition fight, man. Why are people paying for this, man?
Well, I asked that question yesterday, and the Twitter results are in when it comes to who people want to pay money for. 104 people voted, asking the question, which boxer would you want to pay your hard-earned money for? And a lot of people are reaching out going, well, I get it, like bootleg. And I was like, that's not the point of the question. The question is, who do you want to see?
You should say, how are you going to see the fight? Now it's going to get interesting.
You see, and people say, like, I bootleg this and I get this thing. I don't understand any of that. Do you know what I do? I just pay for it.
No, if you
I go to a bar.
No, my boy Stream East, man.
I
If
go
you
to
know,
a
you
bar.
know. Stream East.
But 51% say they want to see Canelo Alvarez. 22% Ryan Garcia and his crazy ass. 19% going for Tank Davis and 8% for Jake Paul. So 8% for Jake Paul. And Jake Paul, you know what? People say they don't want to see him fight. They don't want to see him, but guess what? All eyes are on him.
Look at Jonathan C. Only boomers pay for pay-per-view. Pirate the stream. Be a man.
Dude, I haven't paid for pay-per-view in years. If I want to watch a fight, I go to a friend's house who has it, or I go to a bar. Like, I can't remember the last time I've been at home and was like, I'm going to pay $49 for something.
No, I don't even do that here, bro. We don't do that here.
Yeah.
I got systems in place.
Systems in place.
I do got systems in
Not
place.
with Homeland Security going.
Yeah, man. If they don't know, won't hurt them, man.
Hey, here's a new photo of Justin Timberlake being released from jail.
He looks all right to me, dude. He's walking the straight line.
So for those of you who didn't hear earlier, Justin Timberlake, the pop superstar, formerly of NSYNC, arrested for DWI.
Was this in the morning that they popped him, or was it night?
It was it was overnight.
Okay.
Yeah, he apparently had left a party, and he smelled of alcohol and did not do the field sobriety test, and they popped him for DWI. He was released a few hours later, no bond. Has a court date next month.
Can you imagine? He probably has to place a phone call to Jessica Biel.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, baby, you gotta come get me. Happened again.
Here's another photo. Happened in Sag Harbor, New York. The what do they call it? The Hamptons.
The Hamptons.
He was there for a few hours, man.
Where's Jessica Biel at, man? Did he have her there, or is he shacked up with somebody else?
He was probably with somebody else, dude. That's what I would assume. He knows he can't dance for crap. It's so funny.
Oh man, Mario Cavazos. Cavazos.
Jessica Biel was working.
Ah.
She was filming a new show. I don't know what show that is, but
you're probably gonna watch it now.
She was a nugget back in the day. They had to call her off the set. She starred in a movie, a TV adaptation of a novel called The Better Sister with Elizabeth Banks.
This is a throwback, man. Jesse A, the cable box in Channel 99. If you know, you know. You remember that old time Paragon cable, that little box that sat on top of the TV?
We all did it.
And when the parents left, you're trying to unscramble the signal.
We all did it, man. It was also Channel 41 back in the day. And it was called Rendezvous Theater. Do you remember, dude?
Oh my God, Mike.
Or as my friends refer to it as Rendezvous.
I should ask Sean Quintero next time. Hey, Sean, did y'all watch Rendezvous Theater? What did you call it, brother?
Okay, so one of my best friends, he was like in a family that had a little bit more money than everybody else.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that they were rich, but I went to Holmes High School, right? So Holmes High School was not a very rich school, but it wasn't the poorest school.
Middle class.
It was middle class, right?
Yeah.
Maybe lower middle class, working class.
Okay.
We had a friend there who his parents made probably more than everyone else's, right? But they still went to Holmes.
Yeah.
He had a satellite dish, right? And back then, it wasn't the satellite dish you put on top of the
roof.
roof.
It was that massive one.
It took like a fourth of the backyard.
14 feet across.
Yeah. So we would go to his house looking for, these the playboys of the world. And we're going through, we're finding it. Well, one day and I wasn't there when it happened.
Yeah.
But I show up at his house and he's like bug-eyed and freaking out. And I'm like, what happened? He tilted the satellite so bad looking for porn that it freaking fell over, dude. The whole thing
man.
fell to the ground, man.
It's hard to pick that thing up because it weighs so much. My uncle used to have one, and he lived way out there on the west side, right?
Yeah.
And he had one of those. He had a bunch of property in his backyard, and we were Nestials too, man. And you could hear that thing moving, and he would get mad at us because he knew what we're doing. You would hear that thing moving, it would go,
yeah.
And the satellite would start moving up and down. He's like, "What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing?" Because he had one of those boxes that was chipped at the time, right? So he could get all the stuff for free. So he was always, "Don't mess with my satellite. Don't mess with my satellite."
Sam Salinas reaching out and saying the best part was that there was sound on the scrambled channels. That's why the generation is so visual. We had to use the sound, and we were all yelling at the TV, telling the dude to shut up. Telling the dude to shut up. Yeah, man, right there, there.
The wavy screens had us thinking we saw a girl.
No, well, what about when like Rendezvous Theater would have? They would show the first 3 minutes, you know, and you would see what was going on.
God.
You'd see the actresses, and then the second the bow wow music started, it would turn wavy.
Yeah,
and it was like it would get you like intrigued by it all, and then it would just go wavy.
Yeah. But then you had the people that were all selling the hot boxes because you had the boxes in two forms. It was that ugly, like tan colored box that had that little switch, that little clicker that you'd move. And then it started getting fancy. Clicker. Yeah. And then they had the fancy one that was like the paneling, the wood paneling.
Yeah.
And it had like the digital numbers on the front. You know, they were all in red.
Okay. So first of all, the first one that came out was the one where you, like, if you want a channel 24, you'd have to hit the 2 and the 4.
Yeah.
I hated that.
And then they had the little switcher, the tan switcher that you would just slide back and forth.
Okay. Yeah, the tan switcher, I would get in so much trouble because I'd want to go from channel 38 to 3 and I go, oh my God. My parents would get so mad. They would be like, no, you do it one channel at a time. And I go 38, 37. I'm like, I don't see how that's breaking anything, right? That's funny, man. But the growing up, we had this one TV that only I could turn on because somehow or another the knob came off. And it was one of those TVs which, if you had it right now, and if I showed it to my kids, they would laugh. It would take up half the room.
Jeez.
You know what I'm saying? It probably weighed about 1,000 pounds, right? I mean, 1,000, but it was probably about a 300-pound TV. And it had this screw that you would pop out and it would turn the TV on. Well, it somehow popped off. So the only way that you could open it up was me being young with smaller fingers because I was 10, 11, 12, 13. Lick my fingers, put it in that thing, and just pop the nozzle out, and it would turn the TV on. And then I got smart, and I was like, well, what if we've got pliers? So for about 5 years at my house growing up, we had pliers sticking out of the TV because that's how you turn the TV on and off. You would just push the pliers in, needle nose pliers.
Yeah.
Take them and pull them out, dude.
Turn it off and on.
Yeah. Dude, and then what happens when you'd have the antenna in the front go out up on the roof? Brutal, dude.
And it says, why would they put foil in the front and the back? Oh God. They just try to get a better signal, putting it on the rabbit ears.
Yeah.
Was it say we paid crackhead to give us a hot cable at my cousin's apartment? They ended up cutting the cable wire for the whole complex. Well, that's the way it was back then. You could climb up the telephone pole, right?
Yeah.
Because they had those little, I guess, the little feet coming out of the pole, the metal ones, where you just climb up there. And then you would just jerry rig it and you could just run a line, you know, or connect it. Because usually it was just disconnected. You would just connect it back and boom, you had cable again.
It's not genius, it's ingenious.
Yeah, it was that simple.
So what's going on right now? Because I'm looking at KSAT 12 right now and their website.
Yeah.
Saying there's only a 70% chance of rain on Wednesday.
I'm telling you, man. I bet you nothing's going to happen. You'll get a little trickling of rain, dude. That's about it.
So is Houston going to get deluged and we're going to get nothing? Is that what's going on?
I don't know, man. It looks like everything's going to be going to Mexico and you'll just get the remnants or whatever's left.
Why do the Weather Channel and
jeez,
why does the Weather Channel and,
hey, man.
and KSAT
go back
differ?
Go back to just look at that, man. That storm is hung, bro.
It's girthy.
I'm like, dude.
Again, this was described earlier this morning as the Victor Wembanyama of storms because it was so long and so wide. Joshua A saying it's starting to rain over here by Foster Road.
Yeah. It was raining earlier today, too, when I dropped off my daughter at UTSA.
We need rain, dude. Now, we don't need 12 inches of rain.
Yeah.
But Chris Gonzalez saying the storm is like the Cowboys, all talk at the beginning and then choke it away at the end. But yeah, tropical storm warnings all the way from Brownsville, South Padre Island, all the way to Galveston. So something's coming. Okay, something's coming. And this is according to the Weather Channel. Again, you can trust this person because she's not a big booty girl.
Look at all the storms hit Houston. No lies, dude. It always seems like that. And the thing is, they couldn't hit a worse city. All that rain, because Houston's already low, as far as sea level goes. It's like right there. And anytime you get a little bit of rain there, it always floods because it used to be nothing but a bayou. It's a big marsh.
Right. Now, now the projections are 1 to 2 inches of rain in San Antonio.
I'm telling you, man. I said, no me pasa nada. I'll be in the damn pool drinking a beer. The rain's coming. Well, what's going to happen to me?
Is Yannick Garcia going to be working this week, or is she going to be taking the week off?
She's probably on vacation. She's probably in Mexico right now. Nothing's going to happen there. They get a little bit of wind.
There's a new Chevy Girls.
Oh, do you have it?
I'm looking it up right now.
Camino Real
Chevy. They got a new one. Let's see. It was funny. He's
cutting the papaya.
One more time. One take? You can only do this in one take. She's laughing the entire time, and you can barely understand what she's saying. But yes, she won't take it. Oh, this is the new one. I haven't seen this one. What do you think of Sophie's new hair?
Looks nice.
And now that she's wearing the skirt now as opposed to the pants.
Even better.
And you got Jessica and whoever this dude is. Okay. Where's this going? I think I've seen a movie that began like this one time. All right. This is boring me to tears at this point.
Yeah, nothing's happening, dude. There's other...
It was getting good for a second, but then it didn't. All right, well, Let's go back to the papaya one. This deserves one last look. There you go.
I don't know who that girl was. I hadn't seen her before.
No, that's Thicky, dude.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, her name is Anna.
Yeah, Anna. Anna's good, dude.
You know what? Let's look up Anna Valen is her name. This is Thicky, dude. The thing is, she just got back from being from having a kid, but she ain't ugly, dude. She's becoming my favorite Camino Real girl.
The good text.
Oh, there you go. That's all you need to know.
Hey, look at Tex Mex Franks. He says, remember watching the bad channel late at night when everyone was asleep. All of a sudden you would hear noises. It says, and then your dad's voice. You better not be watching the cochinos. Being necio.
Sam Selena's shirt should have been white. Brutal.
Jeez. All right, man.
Speaking of white, Derek White is a champion.
Congrats to Derek White, man. You know what? It only took him leaving the San Antonio Spurs to become a champ. Who would have thought?
I know.
He came out. He got out of Coach Pop's reign. Got on a better team that had better players.
I cannot wait, dude.
Look what happened.
I cannot wait till Pop's gone. I cannot wait. You overstayed his welcome.
So what are you gonna do when Coach Pop decides to hang it up? You're gonna go honking down Commerce?
Pretty much.
You're gonna be at the damn game when they go ahead and they have the video tribute to Coach Pop, and
he
deserves
it. He deserves it. He deserves
be wearing
it.
a Coach Pop. I love Pop,
dude. But the number of people are like, well, he has 5 chips. Well, you know what? 10 years from now, he'll have 5 chips too. Tom Landry was given the heave-ho at some point.
Tim Gonzalez, y'all get the Chevy ladies in the studio. We ain't got that kind of coin, bro.
I wish. Pete Prisco of CBS Sports released the top 100 players of 2024 in the NFL. Number 1, Patrick Mahomes. Makes sense. Number 2, Myles Garrett, defensive end for the Cleveland Browns. Number 3, Trent Williams of the 49ers. Tyreek Hill, TJ Watt, Josh Allen, Justin Jefferson, Christian McCaffrey, Micah Parsons, number 9. That's your first Cowboy. Nick Bosa at number 10. How many Cowboys do you think are in the top 100?
3.
CD, Dak, Micah, right?
3, yeah.
Maybe Diggs?
Maybe Diggs. And it depends on if they're going way back in the day. Are they going to have?
Well, no, it's as of today.
As of today, maybe 3, dude.
All right, let's go through it all. They got Micah Parsons at 9, CeeDee Lamb at 21, Dak Prescott at 49, DeMarcus Lawrence at 55, Tyler Smith at 75, Zach Martin at 94, and that's 6.
And you know what all that gets you?
Get to 12 wins and an early round knockout.
An early round wild card knockout by the freaking Green Bay Packers.
The Texans have Daniil Hunter, who, by the way, they just got off for free agency, at number 35. CJ Stroud at 38. Laramie Tunsil at 57. Nico Collins, the wide receiver, at 77. Derek Stingley, the cornerback, at 80. Will Anderson at 99. So they also have, and I don't even want to look up the Saints, dude, because I'm going to say that there's like very few. Demario Davis at 50. Yes, todo. Tyrann Mathieu at 92.
Look at this. Sam Salinas brings up something because we're talking about Pop. He says the thing for everyone forgets is Coach Pop forced himself in when he wasn't welcome in the first place. 5 chips changed that.
That's right. He took over for Bob Hill.
Yeah. Remember?
He screwed Bob Hill over because Bob Hill had a losing record because David Robinson was out with that injury.
Yeah. And then he just basically told him in the middle of the season, you're done.
Yeah.
Don't get on the bus. And Coach Pop came on the bus and he says, I'm your captain now.
You know, I was thinking about something. Let me see if I have that in my notes. That reminded me of something. By the way, there's an article coming out saying that Jeff Van Gundy is going to be back in coaching as an assistant.
An assistant coach. Look at Tim Gonzalez says Mike Jimenez would wear I Trust Pop shirt. He would. At the going away, game that they're going to have for Coach Pop when he decides to retire, and the video montage, I Trust Pop, dude, clapping.
He's already in the Hall of Fame.
I know he is, dude.
What I'm saying is, it's like, do you know what it's like? Okay, it's like the most banging party at all time at a nightclub, right? And it's 2 a.m. and everyone's left, and he's still there.
Like us when we closed down the Frost Center.
And they're counting the money. And then they're putting everything away, and they're sweeping the floors, and they're cleaning the bathrooms, and they're locking up. And he's still there. What is he doing? And why do some Spurs fans are like, oh no, man, Pop is gonna be, he's the greatest thing for Victor Wembanyama. Wemby says that he's always admired Pop and wants to play for him. He's the best thing in the world. He has 5 chips. Shut up, dude.
There's your boy right here.
It's over.
Jeff Van Gundy is signing a deal with the Clippers to become the lead assistant on Ty Lue's coaching staff, per Woj.
D'Lo saying Brad Stevens did the opposite of Pop. Got to the mountaintop and then went to the front office, right?
He did. He got to the mountaintop, then he went to the front office. He's been out there with the Celtics ever since.
Dude, the Celtics franchise, man, it's a smart franchise. They did a lot of really smart moves out there. Congratulations to them. Number 18. Other news and notes, Deshaun Watson of the Cleveland Browns is apparently ahead of schedule when it comes to his shoulder injury, and should be ready to go when the season starts. Justin Timberlake in the pokey for a few hours today. We went through a lot today.
They're talking about him too on TMZ right now.
Oh, what's that?
Justin Timberlake.
The wheel of his car, he drove off and almost immediately blew a stop sign. We're told that cops saw this, started following him, and then Justin started swerving and cops pulled him over. Our sources say that cops performed a field sobriety test and asked Justin to take a breathalyzer test, but he refused. And we're also told that several of Justin's friends actually came on the scene and asked cops to give him a break, but they refused, and instead they handcuffed Justin Timberlake and arrested him for driving while intoxicated. And we're told it's all on body cam. We're told that Justin has been released and he's currently on tour. He has 2 shows coming up in Chicago on Friday and Saturday. Unclear if he'll still perform, but keep checking TMZ.com.
Good for him. Good for the cops. Didn't fall for the don't you know who I am. By the way, we do have a giveaway sometime this week if you want to show that.
I almost forgot to show that, dude. Go ahead and get that. Take this off.
So this is courtesy of one of our listeners saying that wanted us to give this away.
So here we go. Tops. And it's the Wembeyaso Rookie of the Year card. And there you go. We're probably going to give this out on Friday. Well, you can't see because of the ring camera or the ring light. There you go.
There you go.
It's nice. Wembeyaso card.
Very nice. Very nice. Jonathan C. coming out saying Coach Borrego would be a good move as the Spurs head coach. I wouldn't mind it. I still have high hopes that it's going to be Becky Hammond, but, she's off doing bigger and better things right now. Wait till the video drops. That's right.
Mario Cavaz says you're going to miss him when he's gone.
That's in reference to a
Coach
a
Pop
song lyric.
Yeah, but I'm saying in Coach Pop, you're gonna miss him when he's gone.
Who, Pop?
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Manu will be the best replacement for Pop. But
okay. First of all, look at the difference between the retirements.
Yeah.
David Robinson went out on top.
Went out as a champ.
Went out with 2 rings, 2003. Last image that you see is him holding the trophy, the championship trophy,
and his kids.
Tim is there with the Finals MVP trophy.
Yeah.
He will always be a champion because of that. We will always have that image, right?
Yeah, he's a champ.
I remember in 2014, dude, I have Facebook posts. I'll call him up at some point saying Pop should retire now. Pop at the time, this was 2014. Pop at the time was 67 years old. He was already of retirement age, or 66 years old. Was already of retirement age. He could have left a legend, dude. If he had won that title in 2014, beautiful game and all that stuff, and just walked away, he would be considered the greatest head coach in NBA history. But because he stayed around for another decade and it's going to end his career with 6 or 7 losing seasons in a row, he'll never be considered the GOAT, ever.
So what do you think they're going to think of him now? He's all right.
You know what? First impressions mean a lot, but the lasting impression, the last thing that you do oftentimes means just as much. That's very true. Very nice. Very nice. We did an hour and a half. This was a fun show.
I will remember you.
I am starving. My fast is over.
Oh,
Joe, are we going to get something to eat?
Why not, dude? I don't got to pick up my daughter until about maybe 2 o'clock. So
dude, there's a new Greek place down the street.
I don't have Greek food, dude. I think that messed my stomach up, man.
Dude, a little hero with some rice?
No.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. Everyone have a fantastic day. Don't forget to tip the dealer. Top left, QR code if you want to give us a tip. That'd be nice. And then also like and share. We'll be back tomorrow, fellas. And now it's down to 1 to 3 inches of rain. Maybe tomorrow they'll say 20% chance. We'll never know.
And we'll have Jeff Garcia on tomorrow.
Top 5 TV moms of all time.
Oh, he's got to give us his top 5. And they can't be cartoons.
Can't be cartoon characters and can't be anime.
Yep.
Thank you, sir. See ya.
Right.